Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that will shift your life if you truly grasp it. Success is not an event, it's a habit. You see, most people are waiting for a breakthrough moment, a lightning strike, a single opportunity that changes everything. But success doesn't show up because you had a lucky day. Success shows up because you sowed seeds every day when no one was watching. Your habits are the seeds you plant. Your success is the harvest you reap. You cannot sow laziness and expect leadership. You cannot plant procrastination and expect promotion. You cannot water excuses and expect excellence. It just doesn't work that way, sure. Here are 6 keynotes from the speech. Success is built daily through habits, not occasional events. Your habits are the seeds that determine your future harvest. Change your thinking to change your habits, and your life will follow. Excellence results from intentional, disciplined, daily actions. You don't decide your future, you decide your habits. Success is attracted by the person you become through your habits. Would you also like a version formatted as quick bullet points for a presentation slide? Of course, here's an expanded version of Keynote 1 about *700 words without any heading or ending sentences, as you requested. Success is not something that happens overnight. It is not an isolated event, nor is it a single moment of brilliance. Success is the cumulative result of small actions, repeated consistently over time. People often admire the achievements of others and think they just got lucky, that they were in the right place at the right time. But the reality is far different. Behind every overnight success is a long, unseen history of daily habits, disciplines, and decisions that compounded quietly in the background. Habits are the invisible architecture of success. They shape your days, and your days shape your life. It is not the giant leaps that create transformation, but the small, seemingly insignificant steps taken over and over again. Waking up a little earlier, choosing to read instead of scrolling through your phone, putting in an extra hour of work when you feel like quitting. These are the kinds of habits that, though unnoticed at the time, build momentum toward extraordinary results. Success shows up in the life of the person who is willing to do the small things right, over and over, even when the payoff isn't immediate. Too many people chase big moments. They seek the conference that will change everything, the contact that will open every door, the one opportunity that will finally validate their dreams. But success does not belong to the one who waits for moments. It belongs to the one who prepares every day for when the moment comes. Daily preparation through habits creates a person who is ready, equipped, and worthy when opportunities arise. Without the right habits in place, even the best opportunity will be squandered. There is a fundamental difference between people who win consistently and people who win occasionally. Winners who succeed consistently have built success into their routine. They have embedded principles into their daily life. Their commitment is not event-based, it's identity-based. They don't rise to the occasion, they fall back on the level of their habits. When pressure hits, when stress rises, when distractions come, it's not your ambition that saves you, it's your habits. Think about the athlete who dominates their sport. We celebrate their victories, we admire their performance, but we rarely see the early mornings, the late nights, the thousands of repetitions when nobody was watching. The same principle applies in business, in relationships, in every area of life. Small disciplines carried out daily create an unstoppable compound effect that leads to success that cannot be denied. What makes habits so powerful is their ability to work automatically once they are established. Habits reduce the need for willpower. You don't need to think hard about whether you will practice discipline today. You have conditioned yourself to act in alignment with your vision. In the beginning, establishing good habits requires effort, intention, and sometimes even pain. But once those habits are rooted, they create freedom, they remove hesitation, they eliminate internal debate. You simply become the kind of person who does what is necessary without negotiation. This is why focusing only on goals can be misleading. Goals are important for vision, but habits are crucial for execution. Anyone can set a goal to get fit, to start a business, to become financially free. But without habits that support those goals, they remain empty promises. Habits are the bridge between intention and reality. They turn hopes into results. There's a reason why two people with the same talents, the same resources, and the same opportunities end up with very different outcomes. One of them has built habits that fuel success. The other has built habits that fuel mediocrity. Excellence and mediocrity are both products of habitual behavior. Every small choice, repeated over time, either pulls you closer to your dreams or pushes you further away from them. Success belongs to the person who commits to daily disciplines even when it's not exciting, even when it's not glamorous, even when no one is clapping. Those who win are those who have mastered the art of showing up consistently. They show up when they are tired, they show up when they are discouraged, and they show up when it would be easier to quit. Over time, this consistency becomes a force that no setback can stop. The truth is, anyone can wish for success. Anyone can dream big dreams, but only those who build the right habits will ever walk into the reality of those dreams. Dreams without habits are just fantasies. Habits without dreams are simply routines. But when powerful habits are fueled by a clear vision, success becomes inevitable. It is not a matter of if, it is only a matter of when. Would you also like me to prepare expansions for the other keynotes if needed? Here's the ** expansion of keynote 2 * into about * 700 words * without any ending sentences or headings, as you asked. Your habits are not just part of your life. They are the very seeds that determine the quality of your future. Every action you take, every choice you make on a daily basis is like planting a seed in the soil of your destiny. Over time, those seeds take root, grow, and eventually bear fruit, good or bad, depending on what was planted consistently. Most people want a successful harvest. They want the rewards of health, wealth, strong relationships, and peace of mind. But they often ignore the fact that the harvest is simply the result of the seeds they are sowing through their habits every single day. You cannot sow inconsistency and expect stability. You cannot plant indiscipline and expect prosperity. Life operates by principles, and one of the most unbreakable principles is the law of sowing and reaping. You reap what you sow, not immediately, but inevitably. What you experience in your future is a direct reflection of the seeds you are planting right now. If you develop the habit of learning daily, you sow seeds of wisdom. If you develop the habit of generosity, you sow seeds of abundance. If you develop the habit of persistence, you sow seeds of breakthrough. It is impossible to continually sow the right habits and not eventually walk into a harvest of success. Every habit carries a harvest attached to it. There is no neutral habit. Habits are either pushing you toward your purpose or pulling you away from it. They are either fertilizing your future or contaminating it. The small daily decisions you make, the patterns you allow, the standards you accept, all of these are investments into the life you will live months and years from now. Many people live in frustration, confused as to why success seems to elude them, but they have not examined the seeds they have been sowing through their habits. If you want to change your future, you must first change your seed. You cannot expect a different harvest by continuing to sow the same behaviors. There is no shortcut around this principle. Hard work, discipline, integrity, courage, faith, these are the seeds that bring an abundant harvest. Shortcuts, excuses, laziness, procrastination, these are the seeds that bring a harvest of regret. What you plant is what you will eventually see in your life. You can pray for a different outcome. You can wish for a better result. But unless you are planting different habits, you will only get more of the same. Habits have a way of multiplying their impact over time. A small positive habit, practiced daily, grows stronger and produces greater results with each passing day. Likewise, a small negative habit, ignored and tolerated, also grows stronger and produces greater destruction over time. Seeds don't stay seeds forever. They either grow into fruitful trees or into destructive weeds, depending on their nature and the environment you create through your discipline. You have to become a good farmer of your own life. Good farmers are intentional. They know what kind of crop they want and they plant accordingly. They prepare the soil, remove the weeds, water the seeds, and protect the young plants from pests and storms. They don't plant and walk away. They cultivate daily. Success requires the same level of care and attention. You must be intentional about what habits you plant. You must guard against the weeds of distraction, negativity, and self-sabotage. You must nurture the habits that align with your goals until they grow deep roots and strong stems. One of the biggest deceptions is thinking that small bad habits don't matter. Skipping one workout, telling one small lie, wasting one afternoon, it feels insignificant in the moment. But seeds always multiply. One seed becomes many plants. One decision becomes a series of decisions. Over time, a small deviation off course can lead to a massive gap between where you are and where you intended to be. Similarly, small good habits may seem unimpressive today, but they build massive momentum that creates unstoppable success in the long run. Success is never a mystery, it's a harvest. Failure is never a mystery, it's a harvest. Both are predictable. Both are planted through habits. The wise person stops judging success by what is seen and starts evaluating it by what is sown. They understand that today's habits are tomorrow's result. They recognize that every action is a seed and that no seed is insignificant. They live with an awareness that what they are doing today is already shaping the life they will live tomorrow. Would you like me to continue with Keynote 3 as well? Here's the ** expansion of Keynote 3 * into about * 700 words * without any headings or ending sentences, just as you asked. Everything you want to change in your life starts with a change in your thinking. The way you think determines the actions you take. The actions you take determine the habits you form, and the habits you form determine the results you experience. Most people try to change their results by focusing on surface-level actions, but lasting change always begins much deeper. It begins in the mind. Your mind is the command center of your life, and the quality of your thoughts dictates the quality of your future. If you want to elevate your habits and ultimately your outcomes, you must first renew your mindset. Thoughts are seeds, and they produce fruit after their own kind. If your mind is filled with doubt, fear, negativity, and limitation, then the habits that flow from that mindset will naturally reflect hesitation, procrastination, and self-sabotage. On the other hand, if your mind is filled with belief, confidence, discipline, and purpose, then the habits you form will naturally align with growth, excellence, and breakthrough. The mind is always the root. The habits are simply the visible branches. Changing what people see on the outside requires first changing what you believe on the inside. Many people attempt to force new habits into an old mindset, and then they wonder why they keep falling back into old patterns. You can set a new goal, join a new program, even hire a new coach. But if your mind remains stuck in old beliefs, your habits will eventually snap back to match your dominant thoughts. True habit transformation requires mental transformation first. The mind has to be programmed for success before the hands can perform consistently at the level of success. Every habit you currently have, good or bad, is tied to a belief you hold. If you consistently exercise, it's because you believe that movement matters. If you consistently waste time, it's because, at some level, you believe your time isn't valuable enough to protect. Beliefs drive behavior. To change behavior, you must interrogate and upgrade your beliefs. You have to ask yourself hard questions. What do I really believe about success? What do I believe about discipline? What do I believe about my ability to change? Until you identify and replace the limiting beliefs, any attempt at changing habits will be temporary at best. The mind has incredible power to either propel you forward or chain you to mediocrity. If you want better habits, you have to guard what enters your mind daily. You cannot feed your mind a steady diet of fear, gossip, negativity, and distractions, and then expect it to produce habits of excellence. You must feed your mind the thoughts, images, and ideas that reinforce the identity you want to build. You must consistently expose yourself to environments, teachings, and relationships that challenge your current level and stretch your thinking higher. Your habits will never outgrow your mindset. Mindset is not something that changes accidentally. It must be shaped intentionally. Every day, you must decide who you are becoming and align your thoughts with that future version of yourself. You must practice seeing yourself succeeding before you succeed. You must practice acting with discipline before it becomes natural. Visualization, affirmation, study, and reflection are tools that retrain the mind and lay the foundation for new habits to take root. When the mind shifts, the actions will follow. Sometimes the reason people fail to build new habits is not because they lack discipline, but because they lack identity alignment. As long as your self-image remains tied to who you were, your mind will resist any habits that don't match that identity. Real change happens when you stop seeing yourself as a struggler trying to succeed and start seeing yourself as a success, learning to express it outwardly. Identity drives repetition. Repetition builds habits. Habits deliver results. But it all begins with the way you think about yourself. There are no lasting habits without a lasting change in perspective. You can knuckle your way into a few weeks of better actions, but eventually your true mindset will pull you back to the level of your dominant thoughts. This is why growth must be internal before it ever becomes external. It's not enough to know what to do. You must believe that it belongs to you. You must believe that excellence is your standard. You must believe that success is your natural outcome. That belief will fuel the consistent behaviors that others will call discipline, but that you know are simply the overflow of a renewed mind. Would you like me to continue and expand Keynote 4 as well? Here's the ** expansion of Keynote 4 * into about * 7. 100 words **, with no headings and no ending sentences, exactly as you asked. Excellence is never the result of luck, talent alone, or a single moment of inspiration. Excellence is always the result of intentional, disciplined daily actions that are chosen consistently over time. People often look at those who have reached high levels of achievement and assume they must have had some advantage or some extraordinary break that others didn't. But if you pull back the curtain, What you will find is that excellence was created not in big, dramatic moments, but in the quiet daily disciplines that nobody else saw. It is easy to get caught up in chasing big wins and instant gratification, but true excellence demands patience, persistence, and commitment to mastering the small things over and over again. Small disciplines, repeated daily, lead to massive achievements over time. The person who rises to greatness is the one who makes a habit of doing what others are unwilling to do, day in and day out. They have trained themselves to embrace repetition, to find pride in consistency, and to prioritize progress over applause. Excellence demands that you hold yourself to a high standard whether or not there is immediate recognition. It is not about impressing others. It is about honoring the calling within you. The disciplined person understands that what they do when nobody is watching matters far more than what they do when the spotlight is on. In fact, excellence is built in the unseen hours, in the early mornings, the late nights, the moments of sacrifice, the silent victories over comfort and laziness. Every time you choose to show up with discipline, whether it's to train your body, sharpen your mind, build your business, or serve your relationships, you are making a deposit into the account of excellence. Each small act of discipline may seem insignificant at the time, but over months and years, those deposits compound into an unstoppable force. Excellence is a compounding result. It grows slowly at first, almost imperceptibly, and then suddenly, it explodes into visible success that others admire, but few understand. There is no such thing as accidental excellence. If you see someone consistently performing at a high level, it is because they made a decision long ago to live a life of intentional action. They decided not to coast through life on feelings, but to anchor themselves in purpose. They trained their emotions to submit to their mission. They learned to move forward whether they felt like it or not, because they understood that feelings are temporary, but outcomes are permanent. Excellence requires mastering the mundane. It demands that you find value in repetition, that you pursue mastery over novelty. Those who chase excitement eventually burn out, but those who chase mastery build legacies. Excellence is not about being perfect. It's about being committed to getting better every day. It's about refusing to settle for yesterday's best and stretching yourself beyond comfort again and again. Discipline is what turns a good intention into a great result. It is easy to be inspired for a moment, to have a burst of motivation, but without the discipline to translate that motivation into action, inspiration quickly fades. Discipline anchors you when motivation evaporates. Discipline says, I do what needs to be done when it needs to be done, whether I feel like it or not. Discipline respects the process, even when the process is slow. Excellence thrives in environments where discipline is the culture, not the exception. If you create a daily environment for yourself where discipline is expected, where shortcuts are rejected, where standards are upheld, excellence becomes the natural byproduct. The disciplined person surrounds themselves with accountability, with structures and routines that support their highest goals. They do not leave success to chance. They engineer it through disciplined living in every field, whether business, sports, the arts, or leadership. Those who rise to the top are those who embraced discipline long before success was visible. They stayed faithful to their daily practices long before results validated their effort. They invested in the unseen long before the world applauded what they could see. Excellence is not a single decision. It is 1,000 small decisions made correctly when it would have been easier to choose the path of least resistance. If you want to live a life marked by excellence, you must embrace the reality that there is no substitute for daily discipline. You must be willing to do what others won't so that later you can live at a level others can't. You must be willing to pay the price daily because the price of discipline is always less expensive than the cost of regret. Excellence is never bestowed. It is built through disciplined hands, disciplined minds, and disciplined hearts. Would you like me to move ahead with expanding Keynote 5 as well? Here's the expansion of Keynote 5 into about 700 words without any headings or ending sentences, as you asked. You don't decide your future in one grand moment of inspiration. You decide your future every single day by the habits you choose to build. Most people think that success is the result of one big decision, one big break, or one big opportunity. The truth is that your future is hidden in the patterns you repeat. What you do daily will ultimately shape who you become and what you experience in life. It's not your dreams, desires, or even your talents that decide your destiny. It's your habits every single day. You are writing the story of your future with your actions. The small decisions you make, whether to get up early or sleep in, whether to spend an hour learning or an hour wasting time, whether to invest in your growth or stay comfortable, these decisions are like brushstrokes on the canvas of your destiny. No one paints a masterpiece with one stroke. It is created through countless deliberate strokes, layered one on top of the other. Your habits are the strokes that define the masterpiece or the mess of your future. The future you experience will never rise higher than the level of your daily disciplines. You cannot hope for greatness and build it on a foundation of inconsistency and excuses. Your habits either pull you toward your highest potential or anchor you to mediocrity. Every time you choose a habit, you are either reinforcing a future of strength or a future of regret. It's a choice, and it's made in the small moments that often feel unimportant. But it's those unimportant moments that shape everything. There's a dangerous myth that says you can live casually and somehow stumble into success, that you can treat your habits lightly but still achieve heavily. That myth keeps people trapped for years. In reality, every person you admire, every success story you hear, is the result of someone making intentional choices over and over again until those choices became second nature. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They didn't rely on inspiration. They decided that their habits would reflect the future they wanted, not the feelings they had in the moment. If you study successful people, you'll find that their futures were decided long before the world knew their names. Their future was decided the day they committed to habits of preparation, habits of perseverance, habits of resilience. They decided that their vision mattered enough to sacrifice comfort for consistency. They decided that small disciplines mattered, even when no one else saw or celebrated them. They understood that every habit is a vote cast toward the person they wanted to become. It's important to realize that your future is not being shaped by isolated decisions made once a year, but by habits that are reinforced hourly, daily, weekly. The small things compound. Missing one workout doesn't ruin your health, but the habit of skipping discipline does. Blowing one deadline doesn't destroy your career, but the habit of cutting corners does. Allowing one bad attitude doesn't wreck your relationships, but the habit of carrying negativity does. Habits don't ask permission. They quietly shape your outcomes while you are busy focusing on the wrong things. When you realize the power of habits, you also realize the power you have to change. You don't have to transform your entire life overnight. You simply have to change what you do consistently. One better decision today, one better habit practiced tomorrow. Over time, these small adjustments create massive differences. You are not the victim of your circumstances. You are the architect of your future through the habits you choose to build right now. Deciding your habits is more important than deciding your goals. Goals set direction, habits set your path. A goal without habits is just a wish. A vision without habits is just a fantasy. The person who succeeds is not the one who dreams the biggest, but the one who executes the smallest disciplines the longest. You build a future worth living not by occasional bursts of greatness, but by daily acts of intentional living. If you want to predict your future, look at your habits. If you want to change your future, change your habits. It is not magic, and it is not mystery. The secret is hidden in the mundane, in the repetition, in the daily choices that either align with your vision or sabotage it. You cannot control every outcome, but you can control your input. And when you consistently control your input through disciplined habits, you eventually create outcomes that reflect excellence, strength, and success. Would you like me to also continue with expanding Keynote 6? Here's the ** expansion of Keynote 6 * into about * 7. 100 words **, no headings, no ending sentences, exactly as you asked. Success is not owned, it is rented, and the rent is due every day. That statement captures the reality of achievement in any area of life. Many people believe that once they reach a certain level of success, they can relax, that the work is finished, that they have arrived. But true success is never a one-time event. It is a continual process. The moment you stop paying the price through daily effort, focus, and discipline, you start losing the very ground you fought so hard to gain. Success is rented because the world is constantly moving, shifting, evolving. New challenges emerge, new competitors rise, new standards are set. Yesterday's efforts are not enough to sustain tomorrow's victories. The rent for success is due in the form of consistent action, consistent improvement, and consistent commitment to excellence. You cannot coast your way to greatness. You cannot live off yesterday's victories. You must renew your effort daily, or you will find yourself falling backward without even realizing it. Many people want the rewards of success without embracing the responsibility that comes with it. They want the fruits without tending the garden, but success does not respond to wishes, feelings, or past achievements. It responds to work. It responds to discipline. It responds to perseverance. Every day you must ask yourself, am I paying the rent today? Am I doing what is required to maintain and grow what I have been entrusted with? Success is not a permanent possession. It is a daily stewardship. The greatest performers in any field understand this principle instinctively. The best athletes, the best entrepreneurs, the best leaders, they all know that yesterday's win does not exempt them from today's work. They stay hungry, they stay focused, and they stay disciplined. They never assume that their current level of success entitles them to future victories. They approach each new day as if they have something to prove, not to the world, but to themselves. They understand that excellence is a habit, not a moment. When you stop paying the rent on success, you begin to deteriorate. Complacency sets in, standards slip, focus weakens. You lose your edge without even noticing it at first. The habits that built your success must be maintained, or the success itself will erode. The rent is not just physical effort, it is mental sharpness, emotional resilience, strategic thinking. It is the willingness to keep learning, to keep pushing, to keep growing even when it would be easier to coast. Success demands daily attention because growth is not automatic. Without intentional effort, decline becomes inevitable. Nature itself teaches this lesson. If a field is not cultivated, weeds will overtake it. If a building is not maintained, it will decay. If a muscle is not exercised, it will weaken. In the same way, if your skills, your discipline, and your mindset are not consistently strengthened, they will diminish. There is no standing still in life. You are either moving forward by paying the rent daily or slipping backward through neglect. The beauty of this principle is that it gives you control. You don't have to be the most talented, the most gifted, or the most connected. You simply have to be the one who is willing to pay the rent every day. Discipline levels the playing field. Consistency builds momentum that eventually becomes unstoppable. The person who shows up, who trains daily, who thinks deeply, who executes persistently, that person will always outlast and outperform the one who relies only on talent or luck. Paying the rent daily means embracing the process, not just chasing the prize. It means finding fulfillment in the work itself, not just the reward. It means developing a mindset that values consistency over flashes of brilliance. It means understanding that greatness is forged in the mundane repetition of right actions, not in occasional moments of inspiration. When you accept that the rent is due every day, you stop negotiating with yourself about whether to show up. You show up because it is who you are. This daily rent also protects you from arrogance and entitlement. It reminds you that success is a privilege, not a guarantee. It keeps you humble and hungry. It pushes you to keep stretching, to keep setting higher standards, to keep refusing to settle. The rent is a safeguard against stagnation. It keeps you in a posture of growth, of gratitude, of grit. You cannot prepay success. You cannot bank enough effort today to skip tomorrow's responsibilities. Each day presents a fresh opportunity and a fresh requirement. You either rise to meet it, or you watch your past victories fade into distant memories. Those who understand this principle and live by it build lives of extraordinary impact, influence, and longevity. Would you also like a final, powerful conclusion that could link all 6 keynote expansions together if you plan to deliver the full speech?